All right, guys. Thank you. The number one podcast with Coach Jake. I am here to discuss all things going from No1. That is if you see that logo, it's No1 or number one. So that's the thing, going from being a no one to being number one. So hope you guys are doing good today. I've had a fantastic day. Just waiting for some more people to join on the stream. As ever, I wish I could bring you guys in as callers like I did on my old radio show, but I can't. So the way that we're going to communicate is you're going to type in the comments, and then I can share your comments. If you're on Facebook and LinkedIn or YouTube, your comments I can actually bring up on screen. If you're on Instagram, I just got to read them. So hope you guys are doing good today. I wanted to talk. See you. All right, Kenny. Have a good meeting, bro. Glad to see you. Thanks for jumping in. And you're gonna have to forgive me, man. It's allergy season and it's hit me hard this year. So it's like settled in my lungs, which is just awful. Hoping it doesn't turn into a sinus infection or anything. I wanted to talk today. Last week I was talking about this whole wrestling with greatness thing and the 5 pillars, getting real. In terms of like having that kind of, some people call it rock bottom or that man in the mirror moment, finding an obsession, getting obsessed on a subject. So you're like willing to do all crazy amount of work. Taking risks is the 3rd pillar. 4th is massive action. And then I added a 5th, and that was the most important component. And that is people, because you're going to have a hard time doing it on your own. So you're going to need people either to buy your product or to help you sell your product, really, ultimately, when it boils down to it. So then yesterday we talked about the power of language and words and a little bit about how magical words can be. But I wanted to talk today about making a mindset shift about going from being consumer to a producer. Okay. Last week I think I was talking about some of my failures in business last week, letting you guys know about the risk taking aspect. Evolve Zone, what's up? Thank you for popping in here. I wanted to talk about, I was talking about my failures and taking risks. And in one of them, I talked, about how I started scientific wrestling. And one of the things that I was doing in that evolution, I won't go through the whole thing, but I made a mind shift. And one of the very first things that I did in terms of changing from being a consumer, I was an expert consumer of wrestling and grappling related material. I would go to training camps, seminars, buy all the instructionals, the videos, the books, buy the outfits, like gis and spats and rash guards. And I was like an ex of all the magazines, membership website. I bought everything, right? What's up, Cameron? Good to see you, brother. So, but I had to make a shift from being a consumer of these goods. And the first shift that I made was like, if I start like an LLC or something, I could start writing off all of the things that I buy. And I was in grad school for business, and I understood that taxes are our biggest expense. And so I was like, well, that would right there off the bat save me in my expenses, maybe 40% on because of the taxes, because now I have a company and because these are now an expense for a wrestling company, right? So that was the first shift, because I'm a libertarian. I hate taxes. I'm gonna be real, and I'm cheap. I'm like, dude, why am I gonna spend money if I don't have to, right? Especially for dipshits. Like, you really want your money going to fucking dingleberries like Trump or Biden? Like, don't have a fucking clue and just bomb a bunch of innocent people overseas or incarcerated people here or shoot them or just dumb fucking waste of money building a wall and shit. I mean, come on. Now, because I don't like taxation, that's right, Cameron, taxation equals theft. It really is. I mean, you fight me on that. I don't care. It's right. You're 100% right, Cameron. 100%. So for me, that was a huge shift. I was like, okay, cool. I ain't going to pay them taxes, and it's totally legal. This is a legal way to avoid paying the tax by incorporating a company. Then I can write off the expenses, right? So that is one very simple, right out the gate mind shift that you yourself can make. I was talking about, how I help people. One of the ways I help people figure out what business they should start if they're flummoxed, they don't know what they want to go into, and they don't know what their obsession is. I have them look at what they spend most of their money on. Okay? Because that's an easy thing to figure out what you should write off. Fair? So for me, it was wrestling. I was just spending all this money on grappling related materials. So that's one shift that you can make. Okay? I think it's a big one. I think it's an important one that you should consider. Hey, what? Okay, so it's Chris Spalding. What's up, bro? Evolve Zone. That's a cool name. I like it. Oh, yeah. Now we got Chris up in here. What's up, CL? Good to see you, man. Excited for Thursday. I think I got Cameron in the loop. Buddha Bubba. I don't make much, so I just throw my 1099s. Dude, okay, listen. That's cool. I get it. I totally get it. First of all, two problems here. One, you need to make more money, dude. You need to get a little bit out of your funk, dude. You don't make much, forget about that. Start making some money, dude. Okay, it's a good thing to make money. There's nothing, as long as you're doing it and it's creating value and it's ethical, you almost have a duty, in my opinion, to make money. That's the first problem. Second problem, do not throw your 1099s in the drawer, man. The IRS, that shit's like the mafia. They're like breaking legs and like they don't care. So I would not mess with those guys. Chris, zero representation. Yeah, dude. I mean, we're not. It's an oligarchy that we live in anymore. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Anyway, but that's a very simple thing that you can do is go through your bank and your credit card statements and see what you're spending most of your money on. I'm not talking about needs. Okay. I was talking in that prior podcast. You should go back and listen to these podcasts. I think there's a lot of really valuable information that I am just spitting out. Okay. I think you if you do it, I think you'll be glad. Anyway, in one of those, I was talking about going through your bank statements, your credit cards, making a list of them, like what are needs and what are wants. Okay. Needs are separate. Okay. You got to pay. You got to buy food. Now, I'm not talking about eating out. That's more of almost a want, right? You could just go shop at the produce section and eat healthy and that kind of stuff. Shelter, electricity, things of that nature. The wants is what I'm talking about. When you go through and you look at the wants, what are you spending your money on? What are you spending your money on? Okay. That's going to give you an idea of what you're an expert consumer at. And I'm here to tell you the shift is not that difficult to go from an expert consumer to a producer. Not an expert producer, but a producer. If you're a marginal consumer of something, yeah, okay, you don't know a lot about it. But if you're an expert consumer of a certain subject, like comic books or fashion or makeup or whatever it is, I don't know what the hell you buy, okay? But if you're like an expert consumer, you're very close to becoming a producer. And the reason I say that is you know the market, you know the prices, you know like what is out in the market, like the different styles and different products available. It's a very simple shift to move to saying, well, what is not in the market? What is something that I've been wanting that's not in the market? And maybe I'll produce it because there's other people like me in this market that would like something like this, right? So this is why I say go through your statements on the wants and see what are you spending the most money on, okay? Now, once you've done that, you are beginning your shift from being a consumer into being a producer. Okay. The next step is start to coming up with like a product or a service in that industry where that you think you could provide. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're going to need a little bit of work in terms of, I'm just going to play with the lighting. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Maybe you need a little bit of polish. Maybe you need a certification or a little more training or a little more information. Maybe you need to figure out how to get the product made in an efficient manner so you can sell it profitably. Still sell it to people so they find value, but make enough money to live because you're moving enough units. So this is going to be that slow journey from being the consumer of products to the producer of products. Now, you'll never end up fully stop being consumer, right? You have to consume, but you're going to become wealthy when you produce more than you consume. Fair? I mean, it's not a complicated, it's like the profit equation. When you sell more than what your costs are, right? When you produce more than you consume, that's net positive. And that should be your goal, right? As a human being in general, you don't want to be like a sycophant, a parasite. You want to actually be contributing, because there will be people that are not able. Maybe they get hit in the head and have an impairment, or maybe they're in a coma, or or they are elderly, or they're babies. There are going to be people in our culture that are going to need that extra help, right? So, we got a comment. Bubba, I'm a musician, got fucked out of the market long ago. Pandemic took the last of what I had going. Also, some bands fired me for not towing the liberal line on social media during that time. Okay, I get it, dude. I like all that. Except you just got a shitty attitude. I mean, and I'm just saying, being straight with you. The market's always going to exist. Believe me, there is a market for anarchist, conservative, communist, socialist, all kinds of different music out there. You've just got to start thinking about it, and you've got to find your people. You've got to find your tribe. You may have been, it sounds like, trying to fit in with the wrong group of people, right? So don't give up. You just got to keep pivoting, adapting, improvising, and figuring it out. What I always say is the only sin in the information age is not learning from your mistakes. Okay, the only way that you can lose is if you quit. So don't quit. You got to keep hustling. And there's a lot of people making a lot of money out there, and they're not all like liberal or whatever, right? So keep hustling. You'll make it. Now, this one of the biggest shifts, I think. Okay, so there's the shift just where you make a decision. Okay, I've got to actually make this an important thing in my life. I've got to figure out how to produce more than I consume. Okay, and you want other people to consume what you produce. So if you just are producing poop, nobody's going to want that, right? They're going to put that in the sewer. You want to produce something of value. This is why you have to know your market. This is why it's important to be an expert consumer as well. That's how you're going to become an expert in the market, right? So in the music sense, you know that there is a certain need for a certain kind of music. Now, artistically, it might not be the thing that you want to do or that you can do. Maybe it's going to require you learning different things or doing a different style or a different approach. Okay, I'm just trying to get real here. Like, we live in a world where people have to actually want to purchase what you're selling. Okay, I believe business is actually an ethical social system that is based completely on consent. Okay, and the production of your labor. I think it's a fantastic system. I'm not talking big oligarch corporate government bullshit. I'm talking small business and entrepreneurs, individual service providers and whatnot like that. Okay. So let's see here. Cameron had a comment. Musicians are some of the best people I know at pivoting. We have a pretty wide skill set and it's easy to diversify. So, maybe right now you can't be playing, conservative, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the music scene that well, but maybe like you're just hell bent on having non-liberal themes in your music, but you're going to like EDM festivals or something where everybody's like a lefty. Or I don't even know. But okay, that's not going to work, dude. You've got to figure out a way to commodify it and to package it so it's palatable. Okay, and that might be stepping outside of your comfort zone. Bubba's saying I can't transfer what I leave in my toilet to digital audio. Yeah, I don't think anybody's interested in that. I mean, unless they're in the market for like fart sounds and stuff like that for sound effects. But I mean, people sell that shit too. So I mean, I don't know. But the shift comes in terms of what I was talking about with those 5 pillars of greatness, right? And the 5th pillar is people. So you've got to figure out, what do people want? What do they want in your space? Okay. So like for me, I love using grappling as an example, because I have a successful business in that field. So scientific wrestling, there was already inundated in the martial arts field. There was a shit ton of Taekwondo people, okay, doing their little punch kick shit, okay? Tons of that, right? But so why would I go into that, right? I have a black belt in it, but it doesn't matter. No good. So jiu-jitsu, dude, I'm sorry to say this. If you are one of those people that is like drinking the jiu-jitsu Kool-Aid, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu out there, okay? And you ain't Gordon Ryan. There's like one Gordon Ryan. So, and there are many people running successful gyms, and that is fantastic, okay? If that's what you want to do, find those successful people and model them, okay? That's a simple, easy key. Not copy, but model. Like learn the principles, learn what they're doing, okay? But for me, I was not interested in doing a Taekwondo or a karate studio, not interested in doing jiu-jitsu or any of that kind of stuff. For me, I have an interest in wrestling, in all things wrestling. I love amateur wrestling. I started in Pee-wees when I was, it was like 1978. Must have been 5. So that's like over 40 years or something ridiculous. I like martial arts. I like grappling. I like pro wrestling. I like anything to do with wrestling. I love it all. And for me, that was all really succinctly encapsulated in this scientific wrestling, AKA catch as catch can project that I've been working on for 20 years. Okay. I was the biggest nerd, the biggest consumer. I had every old book. I had everything on the market at that time. And I saw a massive hole. I saw what was happening in other martial arts. I saw what was happening in other areas. And I said, this is not happening in catch. I'm a consumer. I would love to buy that shit, but it doesn't exist. So there's an opportunity, because I knew that I couldn't be the only one, because I knew there was other people bidding on these same things that I was purchasing, and other people were buying these, even though it was a niche and very small and obscure when I started. And so I started adding to the marketplace. I started out with books. That for me is a fantastic thing, is to start with a book. Oh, Bubba's got a comment. I got fired for posting things, not talking about it in practice, not putting it in songs, just posting. Okay, well, then clearly those are not your people, right? They don't value diversity of opinion. They don't value freedom of speech. And I'm sorry you got fired. That does suck, but that's how you learn, dude. Like, these are not your fucking people. So you got to go find your people. That sounds like what you need to do. And, start putting out feelers and be clear about it. Hey, man, I don't even know what kind of music you play, but, I want a group of people where, if you don't even have to agree with what I say, but you have to take me on my merits as a musician and not my political views or whatever. So, what's Chris have to say? Man, we got a lot of musicians on here. I went from music to a lawn service. You have to find what you're good at. Now I sell the fuck out of whiskey. By the way, guys, if you want your own whiskey brand, I'm going to hook you up with either Chris or Cameron, who are on the call. They work with Feisty Spirits up in Fort Collins. Fantastic, award-winning, like 29 different awards for different kinds of spirits and whiskey in competition. But they're offering now, you don't have to be Conor McGregor or Josh Barnett to have your own whiskey brand. You can invest and basically have these incredible award-winning distillers help you make your own brand, your own recipe. You get your own barrel, which is, something like approximately 300 bottles with your own label and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, DM me. I'll connect you with the people that can do that for you. So anyway, but I just need to move. All right, then move, man. Sounds like do it. Let's go. Don't waste time. I mean, that's the one thing you have to understand, man, is time. Well, they say time and land are the only things that they're not making any more of. Okay. And really time, because you can always stack people on top of each other in high rises and stuff. But time, you just can't waste time, man. I'm telling you, get hit by a bus tomorrow. I've almost died multiple times. And every time I'm super glad that I'm a type A person. And I always get I try to push the limits on getting everything done that I possibly can because I don't have any regrets, right? Because I'm being lazy or indecisive or whatever the problem is. I don't know what it is. But anyway, you're in Charlottesville. It's a little Seattle. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so guys, you need to start thinking like a producer, and not just a producer, but a person who can sell that product or service, whatever it is that you're going to provide. Okay. So for example, Chris earlier said that he sells the hell out of whiskey. I guarantee you he's an expert because he enjoys it, right? I'm not saying he's an alcoholic or anything. What I'm saying is he's an expert. He knows all the different flavor profiles. He knows all the different brands. He knows his brand. And that's why he's able to actually make a living selling whiskey. Okay. So now, and this is something you need to understand. One of the big shifts in going from being a consumer to a producer, that doesn't mean you have to be an entrepreneur. Okay. The person whose interests are the most aligned in any business with ownership or the entrepreneur or the small business owner or whatever is the salesperson, right? I mean, in particular, I'm talking about a commission-based salesperson. So if you own a business, you only get paid if you sell a product that you make. And a salesperson has that same issue. They only eat if they close deals and sell products. Okay. I don't understand this. I think it's kind of maybe this is a reach. Maybe I'm wrong. Fucking sue me. Don't sue me. I got prepaid legal. I got like 300 hours of legal time. So fuck it. But I will countersue and I'll take everything you have. Anyway, by the way, prepaid legal, great fucking product. Great product. And you can sell it. You can sell it. I sell it. I don't sell that much because I don't focus on it. But it's a fantastic product. Basically, it's legal insurance. It's actually where it's really taken off is in minority communities. In particularly Black African American communities, because the justice service system obviously is fucked and biased. I mean, you can look at the statistics, right? It's not even controversial. They have been buying this and been able to, like, literally on their phone, cop pulls them over or gives them a hard time. You know what I mean? They talk about like, blank while being Black, driving while being Black, picnicking while being Black. Like, that's a risk, right? There was a case where a young lady was in a dorm chilling out in the lobby, and she's African American or Black or whatever, and they called the cops on her. She's a student. Like, it's just fucking stupid. But anyway, cops come. You don't even have to talk to them. You hit a button on your phone, dials you within 3 minutes, 3 rings to an attorney, hand it to the cop. That's some sick shit right there, right? So you've got to make this shift to to becoming a producer and selling and finding things. And a salesperson, if you don't have a product and you can't figure out what your product is, or you can't do a better job than somebody else. For example, okay, I'm like all about all this 10X stuff, right? I mean, I've been doing business development training, entrepreneurship training since 2011 formally. And I've been helping people as a consultant on the side forever and founding my own companies since 2001. But I decided, I was like, man, okay, I don't think I could go and try to recreate everything that Cardone does. But man, like Cardone U, which is like kind of their flagship product, which I now sell, he has like 8,000 videos. There's no way that I am ever going to be able to catch up. He's crazy prolific, probably the only person I know that works harder than me for sure. Man, that guy's a freak in a great way. So I was like, I'm going to try to help sell his product because I believe in it, just like prepaid legal. But I also sell my own stuff, like my wrestling business, my business consulting, things of that nature, right? So I'm stacking it up. By the way, your average millionaire has 7 different cash flows. Okay, it's not all one deal. Okay, you do need to focus. You don't want to be spread too thin across different things, but you want to have anyway. Okay, so let's say that you can't come up with an idea, and you go through your credit card bank statement and you find your wants. You're just selling the shit out of, I don't know, something on Amazon. Okay. Well, what I would maybe suggest is trying to figure out how to become a salesperson for that. Join an affiliate program or something, right? Because then you're going to be able to start selling that product, and you already believe in it, and it's an easy sell when you believe in the product. Okay. So either become an entrepreneur or start selling. And, you know, people get down on MLM, and seriously, I'm just going to tell you, fuck off. Like, if you're one of those people, oh, it's a multi-level marketing, blah, 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 shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. There are shitty MLMs and there are fantastic MLMs. There are shitty normal businesses and fantastic normal businesses. It's just a means, okay? So you've got to get in where you fit in. There are like prepaid legal, been around 50 years, saved people, like people's lives. Totally runs off of a multi-level marketing or a network marketing platform. Fantastic. doTERRA. My wife sells doTERRA. It's a great product. I'm going to be real. I mean, people get turned off because a lot of times people are always just constantly selling, and they're not very sophisticated in the way they sell. I understand that. But, you know, I don't know where this like antagonism towards salespeople came from. It kind of pisses me off. I don't think it's fair. You know, and honestly, I think it comes from socialized education or public education, excuse me. These fucking indoctrination camps where you go and you don't learn anything fucking practical. You don't learn anything practical. In fact, you don't learn anything. Dude, these motherfuckers can't even teach you how to properly do math. I mean, they're like, public schools are horrible. They're horrible. They fail, right? By the standards of success, A, and a failure, F, they get Fs. So why the fuck are we still doing it? Because we're forced to. It's usually taken out of your property taxes, and you don't have any choice. You got to pay these fucking stupid propagandists. I mean, teachers. And I'm not saying that they're doing it on purpose, but you need to be learning from people who've had success in the field in which you're learning. You should be learning science from a scientist. You should be learning business from a business person. Okay. If you can't teach basic fucking math and you can't get people to pass reading and English, what the fuck business do you have teaching politics and gender and all this other? You're a total clusterfuck. Get the fuck out. You're just propaganda. Okay. Sales is one of the most important parts of a business, and it is vilified and looked down upon. And again, like I said, there are good salespeople, bad salespeople, and everywhere in between. I am talking about ethical, moral sales. Okay. I think it is the backbone of everything we do. Everything. If you've got a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you've done sales. Okay? Right? And whether you're ethical about it, that's on you. I can't tell. I don't know if you're catfishing people on your fucking profiles and shit. That's unethical. That's unethical sales. Okay? Now, excessive makeup and boob jobs and hair plugs and all that kind of shit, whether that's unethical or not, I think that gets into a gray area. It depends, like, are you really shopping for baby material? Because the babies ain't going to look anything like somebody who's had all the plastic surgery stuff. But if that's not what you're shopping for, and you just want somebody who looks good aesthetically, then that's great, right? So, I mean, I'm not saying it's black and white, but you do have to be direct, try to really have a great product. So I think sales is absolutely crucial. Sales and marketing are crucial because this is the people component. If people don't know about your product, it's not sustainable. Okay. Business is about people and it's about relationships. And if you're constantly fucking people over, the only way you get away with that is if you're a big megacorp like Facebook or one of these other people, right? Is that you just have so much venture capital, or who even knows where you're getting the money from, like in QTEL or these shady organizations. My point is that a small business or a solopreneur, you need to have relationships and you have to have a great reputation. Okay. Now, things have gotten weird in the information age because now your competitors could get on Yelp and talk a bunch of shit anonymously and try to fuck you over and all that kind of stuff. So it's important, really, in my opinion, even though that we live in this digital age, I think it's very important to have very good personal, real life connections with people, not just digitally, right? Because anybody can make up any bullshit anymore. I mean, look at the whole fucking Amber Heard thing. She had people believing she was the victim for years and years until all this evidence came out, right? So it's important to have these personal relationships that you do because you're going to get referral marketing. Somebody who has a fantastic experience with you as a business person, whether you have a product or a service, they are going to recommend you based upon what kind of value you delivered to them, right? So one of the things that I think is a big shift in terms of moving from the consumer mindset, and I think this will save a lot of people a lot of trouble, from a consumer to a producer. We already talked about taxes. We already talked about actually producing more than you consume, all that kind of stuff. But this is, I think, a subtle point. This actually has to do with marketing. I think it's very important that people begin to shift from being a consumer of social media towards understanding from a producer standpoint. The vast majority, this is blue ocean territory, in my opinion. The vast majority, well over 90% of people on social media are consuming it. Swiping, left, right, up, down, whatever freaking app you're in. Consuming hours and hours and hours of stupid, dumb content that you're honestly wasting your life on. I mean, how many fucking stupid cat videos do you need to see? Or, blooper reels or big booty chicks shaking their ass. I mean, how much do you really need of that? I mean, really, really. Like, instead, figure out what you're selling, whether it's your own product, somebody else's, and start figuring out ways to connect with people to solve their problems with your product or your service. It is not a huge mind shift, okay? But it's one that actually allows you to buy stuff and to have financial freedom. A simple mind shift from being a producer, from being a consumer of social media to being a producer of social media with the intent of actually providing a service or a product that solves a problem and helps people. Okay? I think this is a massive, massive shift. Okay? I want you to think about this. Maybe just in general, I think maybe a good kind of Socratic exercise here would be to think of all the ways in which You are currently a consumer, not just a social media, of products, of advertising, of it. What are you a consumer of? And how feasible is it for you to shift into being some sort of producer? Maybe not on everything you consume, right? Obviously, like you've got to pick and choose some of the things that you're going to do. But what could you conceivably produce? Now, yesterday when I was talking about etymology and magic and spelling and all that kind of stuff, I was talking about this book, Liberation, right? In this book, I run you through all of these kind of questions like I'm asking today, like things that are important questions that maybe you never really asked yourself. I would, super cheap, man. It's like $20. I am not making a killing off that. I think that the questions and the ideas in it are worth not just millions of dollars, truly invaluable if you really go through and work it out. Anyways, so guys, I just want you guys to start thinking about shifting your mindset in one small way. How can I become more of a producer, actually creating value for other people than consuming it? What can I do to create more value? Now, value is subjective, okay? I don't want any of this bullshit like, oh, I'm creating food. I'm more important than the guy creating wrestling or makeup. Okay, value is subjective. There are plenty of women out there who forego plenty of meals, but spend all their money on eyeliner or some shit, okay? So value is subjective. I think the only way you can truly measure it is in dollars, because that is people voluntarily reaching into their wallet, grab their credit card, typing it into a computer, hitting the send button and exchanging it, okay? What is it that you have to offer? What is it that you can create? What service can you provide to help people and not give it away? Something that's actually valuable enough for people to give you money for. I think too many people think the only thing they have to sell is their time and their labor, okay? I don't sell my time and I don't sell my labor. I sell my experience. Okay. But I've taken a lot of risks that a lot of people wouldn't be willing to take. I mean, that's part of the reason why probably part of the reason why I've nearly died so many times is I am a risk taker. Okay. But that's valuable because other people aren't willing to do that. And I've touched that hot stove and I've got valuable lessons, but I can't be alone. You've got those same sort of things in your repertoire that are of value to people, right? So for me, like, what do I sell? These are things that are valuable. People have found valuable enough to part with, right? Their money to have me either teach them or sell them, right? So all the stuff over at scientificwrestling.com, all the research I've done, all of the effort I put into learning all this stuff over decades, right? That's one. Doing the all the business training, like the Denver 10X business bootcamp I'm running in June here in Denver. You guys should check it out, man. 3 days, sales, marketing, scaling, like 6 hours each day, 18 hours of training on this stuff. Not just my experience, billionaire, genius sales and marketing, #1 guy on the planet, Grant Cardone. What else? I show people how to write their own book. I've done that like not quite 24 times, but well more than a dozen. Authority-coaching. You check that out. See how I structure the offer. What else? So then I actually sell the actual books that I've written, and I give them away too. You can go to mentalselfdefense.com. I put a bunch of them up there digitally. You can read them as well. So, I just want you guys to start thinking, like, what is it that you could do in your life to start shifting from being so much of a consumer into being a producer, okay? To be that productive member of society, right? That's what that means. What value are you bringing to other people? That could be, maybe you know more about the roller skating business than anybody else. You know the shoes that they should wear, the laminates on the surface, the music and the DJ system. Like, I mean, I don't know, but I know that roller rinks make a lot of money. I take my kids to them all the time, and they're always packed. There's value there, right? So where can you find value in your life, right? That's the question. If I can be of service and I can help you with any of these ideas or help you brainstorm, hit me up at the DMs. I'm always available. You guys can, I've committed to being here every day. So you guys can find me online. Normally I'm earlier. Today I had an appointment and I wasn't able to make it at my normal. I try to do it around noonish. So I did a little later today. I also try to experiment to find the best times when I can actually hit the most people. But guys, let's focus on shifting our mindset from a consumer mindset. And maybe that is shifting from being a consumer. Right now, I'm being a producer of social media. You're a consumer. You're sitting here consuming my content, right? And my advertising. I mean, how many different things have I pitched to you? Now, doesn't mean you have to buy it. It's completely consensual. Has to be something of value. If I'm not finding something of value for you, you're going to move on. Okay. And that's fair. But I am doing my part in terms of producing value, trying to make you aware of, for example, the legal services, the legal insurance available through prepaid legal, of the power of writing your own book and what that's been able to do for me, of entrepreneurship, of grappling, of wrestling, these things, right? So I want you to start thinking, making a list, just contemplate, brainstorm. You don't have to be serious about it. Just doodle. But maybe right at the top to keep your mindset focused. What can I do to become more of a producer and less of a consumer? And the key is, the funny thing is, if you really love being a consumer, you're going to hit a level at which you don't have enough money to consume more. Unless you produce more, then you can up your consumption, right? That's how guys like Grant Cardone, they're consuming jet airplanes, 2 helicopters, because he's producing so much, right? That's what where you want to reach. Okay. So guys, as ever, I'm always here to help. Hit me up. You can go to Thales Coaching, THALES coaching.com. I do sales and marketing training. I do business development coaching, all kinds of stuff. I help people write their own books, scientific wrestling. I help you get in shape. We've got like the macebell.com. We've got, all of the exercises down from Carl Gotch and other guys, plus all the ways to win a grappling match, out of the box things that are different than the mainstream. Let me know. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks, guys.